Okay, so this quiz is decent. It only has one question and is somewhat interactive. What we want to do next is we want to add more questions. Okay, so to do that, first thing we want to do is we want to create a state variable to keep track of the question number. So I'm going to call this question number equals to 0. Okay, in programming, we like counting from 0. And there's a good reason for this. If you learn arrays, you will know that the first item in an array is starting with 0. Okay, we're not actually going to use arrays in this particular set of videos, but it's something that's good to get used to. So I'm going to say the first question is question 0, second question is question 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so down here, what is a question made out of? Well, a question is made out of this text and some options, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say if question equals to 0, open curly brace. Okay, now I'm going to move all of this down here, select it all, select it all, select it all. All right, I'm going to cut this, Command X. I don't need to cut the correct or wrong because that's going to be there for the next question as well. Okay, I'm just going to do this, and this thing should still work. Okay, so it's a good idea to keep testing your code. Make sure there are no errors. Oh, if question equals 0, that's wrong, right? It should be if question number equals to 0. Okay, so test if it still works. Make sure there are no errors. There's an all good button over here. All right, and I'm going to tap on this and it still works. Okay, fantastic. Now what we want is, we want it such that when you tap on this, a new button shows up and it lets us proceed to the next question. Okay, so in order for this new button to show up, you need to have yet another state variable. So I'm going to create a new state variable. And this one is called show next button. And it's a Boolean. I'm going to say show next button equals to false. All right. And down here, below my text correct or wrong, well, you know what? I'm going to give this a bit of padding. Okay, so that's not too near my new button. Okay, I'm going to say if show next button. Well, if you want to show a next button, then sure, let's have a button that says next question. What does this button do? This button actually brings us to the next question. Okay, so I'll leave this blank for now, but I'm going to fix it up with a button style. Bordered prominent. Just bordered maybe, okay? And I'm going to set the tint to be a different color. All right, so it looks a little bit different from our regular buttons over here. Okay, so let's try it out. Well, we need to turn on this show next button Boolean at some point. When should we show the next button? So now you need to think through, what does the user do that will trigger the next button being shown? Well, they press one of these buttons, right? They press one of these, they're told whether they're correct or wrong, and the next button will show up. So it's actually just over here, okay? If is correct or wrong equals you are correct, else correct or wrong equals you are wrong, okay? Outside of the if statement, regardless of whether they're correct or wrong, we're going to say show next button equals true. Does that make sense? Right? So when I tap on this, it will give us the next question. All right, if I tap on this, it will still give us the next question button as well, but that's fine. Okay, and now if I press this button, nothing happens because we need to actually proceed to the next question. I'm going to leave that as an exercise for you for now. I'll tell you how to do it in the next video, but think about it. How can you set it up such that when you press this, you get to the next question? All right, it's got something to do with the question number. It's got something to do with this giant if statement that we've written over here. And if you successfully change it to a different question, you might find that there are a few other things you need to clean up before your next question will show up properly. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to try that out in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.